This morning we put another coat of varnish on those pieces, and this is this afternoon's project. The frame here is for the settee, and what I'm doing is I'm lacing it with polyester double braid low stretch rope, and then the mattress or cushion is going to go on top of it like that. This is to allow air circulation and also to reduce the overall weight of the thing. It's going to take, what did I measure, 178 feet of rope to completely lace this thing up. That's quite a bit of rope to deal with, so I'll show you a little trick that I learned from Brian Toss. Now, moving over here where I have better access to both sides, we get these as tight as we can manually, just by pulling the ropes and working them up as tight as you can. We're going to get them tighter yet afterwards, after we get it all finished. We're going to use wedges to tighten these up, because they need to be very, very tight. Just put a clamp on to hold it while we're working. And now we're going to just continue the lacing process. Okay, now we're going to... And this comes up through here. Over, under, back down through that one. Pull that through. Move my box. Place the box down there, lay the bitter end outside, and just start pulling it through. And there it is. Took me most of the afternoon, but we're done. Well, not quite done. I started in the wrong place, and therefore I finished in the wrong place, and it was supposed to end at that hole, but instead I'm down at the other end, so I have to drill another hole. But it's okay. It'll all work out just fine. It will function as planned, and that's the main thing. This is what the bottom looks like, the underneath side, and it's pretty tight. I did a fairly good job, if I must say so myself, of getting all that net tight. However, we're going to tighten it up a little bit more by putting wedges under these loops right in here, like right here. In these places here and here. You drive wedges in here to tighten this up any place where it's a little bit too loose. And I think that'll do it. Now, right now I'm going to have to break off from this to take advantage of this dry weather and start working on the ceiling. So I have to take all these strips, all those 2-inch yellow cedar strips down to the boat and get them cut and fitted for the ceiling. That's what I'm going to be doing today. Oh, there's one. 14 strips on each side. There's 13 more on this side and 14 on this side, and then on into the main salon. Each one is secured with 4 bronze screws It's going to be time consuming, not particularly difficult, but time consuming. So I better get going on it. Then we have to take them all out again and sand them, seal them, and varnish them. Here's the process. Starting from the top, each strip is slightly longer than the one above it, and each strip is cut at a slight angle on the forward end. So what I have to do is measure each one as I put them in and cut the angle. So what I've done to make that a little bit easier is I've drawn a line here. Can you see the line? Yeah, you can see the line. I've drawn a line here on the little makeshift workbench, and so I line the piece up with that line, and it is the correct angle. And then all I have to do is put a straight edge up here, a guide across, and then cut at that angle. So I get the angle right, and then the measurement, each one has to be measured. I have my tape here, so each one gets measured out. The first one was 82 3/4 inches. The second one is going to be about the same, because I think it's only an 1/8 of an inch difference as you go down. But as you get to the bottom, you get to 85 inches on the bottom one. So each one's got to be a little bit longer and cut at that slight angle on the forward end. And then the very bottom ones have an angle on the after end as well. The bottom 4 have an angle on the after end as well. So I'll deal with that when I get to it. We had this set up before, of course, but we've made some changes. Number one, the new furring strips are 3/4 inch instead of 1/2 inch plywood. Number two, the ceiling strips are set 1/4 of an inch apart rather than an 1/8 of an inch apart. I hope that'll give it better ventilation. And number three, the strips are 3/8 of an inch thick instead of 1/4 of an inch thick. So just a little bit more beefy, a little easier to work with for that reason. Now I have to put them in and then take them out and take them down to the workshop and get them all sealed and varnished. Well, it's a start. I got the first 4 slats in, and I'm going to have to break away because I have something else that I have to do. But we'll get back to it. We'll get both sides finished real soon. Now the forecast is for rain for the foreseeable future, and temperatures between 50 and 60 degrees. Going to slow us down a little bit, but we hope not too much.